Hey everyone, welcome to this impromptu Friday night live. I know it's late, but there's some hot topics that I think as a culture we must go over. And so I just what is the oh, here we go. Um, Sorry about that. There was an echo. So today we're going to talk about some of the hottest topics this past week that has affected our culture, has affected um, the future, and has me a little bit spent. So, first, let me introduce myself. Hey, everyone, what is up? My name is Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, and on this channel, we talk all things wellness, travel, and money from a cultural perspective, a Black woman's point of view. This past week, we've heard about everything from the releasing of the Martin Luther King Jr. files. We and how what was it, 200,000 pages or something crazy. We heard about this recent data breach with the T app, which it's weirdly affecting a lot of us, a lot of Black women. And we'll get into that. Of course, 47 has this enamoration with 45, and, the whole talk of the DOJ and treason and all of that. And then, we got the sad news of all of our beloved number one favorite son growing up, especially if you're Gen X or older millennial, Theo Huxtable, but that was his character, his real name, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who transitioned and became one of the ancestors this week. And then on happy news, let's talk about some happy news. I hope it's going to turn out to be happy, but I was excited to hear about Tracee Ellis Ross, who is coming out with her own show, a series about traveling solo, and I think she's going to cover the highs and the lows. It's something that I want everyone to do. At least once. And, you could start off definitely small, local, staycation, vacation, and then expand. But it challenges us in ways that many of us don't know that we need to be challenged. And so, again, I am I am going to, not only talk about the movement, the stay ready so we don't have to get ready movement from a holistic standpoint, from the Agenda 47 Project 2025 standpoint, but I'm also going to talk about it when there are hot topics that are going to affect us. And so I see you in the building, DJ Baker. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you again. I am out of town and I have to get these lives in when I can. And I was like, something, I had some running around to do today. But 11 o'clock, I was like, I'm going to make time because these stories are real and they affect us. Do me a favor. If you're not following this channel, go ahead and subscribe. I also put a link in the chat and it will be in the description, the first line in the description. We are growing our newsletter, our Gem Nation newsletter. So go ahead, click on the link, sign up for it, because that's a safer way. As we go over one of the topics, which I didn't discuss yet, but as we talk about woke AI, we are going to need to find ways to stay in community. So go ahead, join the newsletter, and we'll be able to, at least no matter what, stay in contact. Another one of the highlights, I was out in these streets today and had to stop and take care of some business. And the place that I was at blessed me with their copy of the 55th anniversary of Essence with mother, Susan L. Taylor, who is, and still I'll say, is the face of the brand, because if you ask most people, they'll still refer to Susan Taylor. So I was happy to get this. This is going to put me to sleep probably tonight. A lot of you know that this is where I spent the bulk of my career, and so I'm excited to dig into that. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into tonight's topic. I wanted to make sure that, we started off. It's been a heavy week, right? So I wanted to start off with the, I guess, heaviest topic and go into the lighter topics. And the main heavy headline that came out was, Malcolm Jamal Warner's passing. And it's complicated because I, along with many others, have heard multiple ways that, he transitioned, all related to water. But 1 minute he was by himself for an early morning swim, and then he was with his daughter, and then he was teaching his daughter how to swim. And 1 minute he was found by the rocks, another minute he was pulled up from the floor of the ocean. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's fake. I do know that he was a mere 54 years old, with an 8-year-old baby girl. And so, as someone who's been caught in rip currents before and luckily had a father who knew how to swim really well and saved my life, I know those things are no joke. And so I'm not saying anything sinister happens. I just wish the stories would come out cohesive and people are just not in a rush to tell a story. And especially for someone who is prominent and has really captured a whole generation of us, right? And so he was one of the best, right? No real bad news stories to talk about. His association with someone who was, in the headlines a few years back with some negative news, still did not tarnish, to me, his image. And so I just wanted to start off by saying, listen, we lost a good one. Someone that I've had the chance to be in company with and conversation with on multiple occasions. Got to see him at the Apollo perform when he first started his band, and he was really passionate about that, and he stayed dedicated. And I haven't listened to his podcast, but I am, I'm going to find the courage to tap in to an old episode. I know he interviewed Keisha Knight Pulliam not too long ago, so I want to listen to that as soon as I can mentally prepare. But it kind of, listen, I, the way my mind works, I'm like, this whole erasure of DEI kind of started when they pulled that magnificent show off the air. And regardless of what happened to any of the people, post the show, I do believe that show changed lives. The subsequent shows after that have changed lives, have impacted our lives. And then with that going off the air and not having something to adequately replace it did a disservice to our community. And it goes in line with the next topic I'm going to go over. And I would love for you guys, if there are any hot news topics that I didn't just cover. So the ones we're going to talk about, let me just repeat it. Well, we already did our acknowledgement and honor to the great Malcolm Jamal Warner. We're also going to talk about the executive order on banning woke AI. We're going to talk about the T breach, the AI, not the AI, the T app breach, where it had just become like the number one app on iOS. And then, like the next day, the breach happens. And we need to be real careful on who we give our information to. From what I understand, people have to take a picture of their face, like take a selfie, and submit their driver's license to validate their identity. And then all of a sudden there's a breach. We have to be real selective on who we give our information over to, so willy-nilly. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about the Paramount and Skydance merger, which has a lot of biases and a lot of pulling back and rolling back of diversity involved in it. And of course, we're going to, talk about our beloved, and some people say forever Pres, Barack Obama. So let me just see who is in the building. Oh, there's people here. I'm sorry, y'all. I was, I didn't have the chat open because it's distracting. And so I try not to keep it open. Hey, Dante, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Christine. Yeah, last minute, girl. I was like, let me just put it up in the YouTubes, and whoever catches us. And hopefully if you're catching us on the back end, go ahead, play this on 2x speed, because you'll get through it quicker and you'll get the same information. So yeah, that Jacksonville story was another one that I'm not going to touch just yet. I kind of wanted to, because I really haven't done a lot. I've seen the video and that's it. And so I really haven't read the follow-up. So I need to read the follow-up from reliable sources. So again, if you are currently here, there is a pinned link to sign up to the brand new Gym Nation newsletter. And that is where we're going to also focus on growing this community, because there's some funny things that's going to probably happen as it relates to multiple platforms that speak directly to Black people, to the people that they really are trying to, erase. And so I want to make sure that we have a legitimate email list so that we can stay wherever we end up, wherever Gym Nation needs to go, we can all go together. And so, yeah. Hey, Calming Rain and Cozy Books channel. I love that name. Oh my gosh. Such a great name. And so, yeah, so go ahead, click that link. You'll also get a free downloadable or free link to the Black news sources, right? The Black-owned news sources, both national as well as a link. You'll be able to find the local Black-owned news sources. And this is courtesy of the digital green book. So go ahead and get your complimentary copy and be prepared. Now, I will say this caveat. Still have to do your research, still have to pay attention, because some of the larger platforms that are listed, like one is BET. Well, you got to realize that Viacom, which is a non-Black company, owns a huge stake. If they don't own the whole thing right now, I can't remember, but they are not Black, right? It's Black targeted, but it's not Black owned. So do your due diligence, do your research. But this was a list that the digital green book put together. I have a separate list that I had already talked about. You can probably find it on my Beacons channel. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the next topic, which is the executive order that was just signed. Lord, you can't make this up. Banning woke AI. Now, who would even think to create something like that other than some just evil people, right? So they're calling it woke AI, and what and I'm going to tell you what it means in a second, but they're going to ban what they are terming or labeling as woke AI from the federal government. And so it simply means AI tools that are used in schools, courts, healthcare cannot include anything tied to DEI, systematic racism, or critical race theory. I'm drinking iced tea. I need to drink some wine, but right now I'm drinking iced tea. It was it's a scorcher today. So they are labeling it now as ideological neutrality. Simply put, this is what it probably will mean. AI tools will no longer be able to reflect Black history, Black lived experiences, or systematic biases. And that doesn't just include Black. It includes Latina. It includes any race that they do not deem worthy. And that's a lot. That's a lot, especially when it comes to Black and brown Black and brown people. And so anything that's related to education software, you see what another news topic that I did not include as part of this, but Columbia University just paid a whole lot of money and made a whole lot of concessions. And Columbia University, Ivy League in New York, used to be one of the most independent, inclusive universities. Now they have caved, and who knows what's in the entire document. But in order for them to get federal funding, they have made some concessions, a lot of concessions. And so that could also include education like software, which can now leave out the real truth about what took place in this country. And the crazy thing is, I just posted, if you missed those other videos, I was blessed enough to have a conversation or educational experience with an elder from the South who was raised by, I want to say, the grandson of a slave. And he interprets his recollection and the stories from his elders in such a way that makes you really understand why they don't want us to pass this information down. The savagery, the barbaric behavior, it makes sense why they're trying to erase it. But the thing about it is, the thing about what I was going to say is, the thing about the plan to erase, it's coming at such a heavy cost to every type of organization. So it's not just education. You think about these businesses, and this is where I was going with it. There's a festival that happens in New York called Curl Fest, and it's to celebrate natural hair. Well, that they just announced that they will not be coming back this year. They can't. And of course, the wording doesn't say they can't, but I know what it means. They have no financial support. These corporations who used to spend money to help make these events run are not anymore. And if you don't have the funding, you can't put on the event. And so their quick, swift executive orders, scare tactics, all of that have a massive effect on just our daily lives, right? And so I want to get through this kind of quick. So it also means that Black developers may also be shut out of federal tech contracts if they build anything that has a cultural awareness angle. So a lot of these Black tech entrepreneurs and Black tech companies that often don't get funding anyway from angel investors will no longer qualify for federal funding if they have anything related to diversity and cultural programming. So we are in a precarious place, y'all. This week's news has been intense when you dig deep into the implications, and that I haven't even gotten to the Martin Luther King files yet. But let's go to the T app data breach. So I don't know, this is more like I would say Gen Y, Z, right? And this was an app, for those of you that are not aware of this app, it's an app that was created where women anonymously share information about men they've dated. So basically, if you dated someone and they cheated, they had some type of health issue, some communicable diseases, were married, you were able to put all the picture and all subsequent information um, to describe this person and warn other women about this person. But the caveat was you had to, in order to register for the app, you just couldn't, register for the app. You had to put in it made you take a selfie like you were doing banking. So they have your facial, they were able to get your facial, what do they call it? I forgot. They transfer your facial recognition information, your facial ID, and then you had to submit a picture of your driver's license. And then guess what happens yesterday or today, excuse me. There was a breach. There was a lot of information stolen. And so where did that information go? How is it going to be used in the future? Or period. So yeah, it was the 25th. Today, there was a security breach on the T app, and there were over 72,000 images. Wait, and over 13,000 selfies and photo IDs in order to sign up. So that's the low number, I think. I think there were more than that because they had just made #1 app on iOS. And so how, pray tell, did this just happen so quick? And the sad thing is, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. You can read more about it later. If you're not on the T app, great, but you may know somebody who is. So if you have daughters, nieces, because it's for women only, so you have to, it has to be a woman who signed up with her facial recognition and her driver's license or government ID. So yeah, please, 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 because I don't know how deep this compromise is going to go, but I have a feeling it's not going to be good. And so this is a teachable moment. It's a time that even if you know a young person who did not sign up for this app, this is the time to have that conversation. And what type of ramifications can come from somebody literally having your face, your whole face, and your ID, your government ID, or at least the information from it. And can they replicate it? Who knows? It says, basically, I'm looking at the news from the breach, and it says the incident raises concerns about trusting apps with intimate content, especially for Black women using it as a safety tool. And this is from Associated Press. We ran to that aisle, we ran to that app, which makes me think that we were targeted for some reason. I don't know what the reason is, but it's just too convenient. Let me see if what y'all are in here saying. Yeah. Hey, Moni. Good to see you, girl. What is this app? Okay, so I think I might have, what time did you send that? It's the T app, and it was created to supposedly have women expose men that they were dating who they were not who they said they were, or, were cheating or had other criminal activity, whatever. So you can look that up, but it was very popular. Like I said, had just become the #1 app on iOS the same day. Yeah. Oh, hey, Creative Flavor and Travels. Good to see you. So yeah, so again, I want to definitely make sure that we are aware. Now, I can't go over all the news topics, right? Because they're coming fast and furious. Like Christine just shouted out, the unfortunate incident, which is not surprising, in Florida, where so many other horrific incidents happen with our brothers and I'm sure sisters. And so, again, I didn't have a chance to research that, so I really don't want to comment on that, but I definitely will comment on it as soon as I have a chance to research. So, yeah, so it has been a serious week of, like I said, unfortunate news. So, we talked about Malcolm Jamal Warner. We talked about woke AI and the executive order that was just signed 2 days ago to eliminate any federal, um, any inclusion in federal AI platforms, large language model platforms, and diversity, equity, and inclusion, all of the words that we went over in a previous video that they have eradicated from their forms, from any type of communication, are also being eradicated and removed from the programming of these AI platforms, these large language model platforms. And so, if you didn't know, this all goes hand in hand. So the Skydance Paramount merger was just approved. And part of the big news topics were, one, Stephen Colbert, who has the #1 late night show on television, but is also extremely blunt and critical against this administration and the person in charge. Well, his show got canceled. Now, am I worried about Stephen Colbert? No, he's beloved. He has a huge fan base, just like, the Joy-Ann Reeds and the Jim Acostas. They have all gone on to better things. Someone's going to snatch up Steve Colbert. But it's just showing the power that media or the administration has over media. And he's already threatened. I just saw this. I didn't do my research on it, but he threatened, I want to say yesterday, to pull The View, or his administration. So let me just say allegedly he threatened, but through his administration, I know there was a threat because of something one of the co-host said, and someone made a reference that they can go the way of Stephen Colbert. And so, saying all that to say, these mergers, these acquisitions create monopolies in the media space. So once you have monopolies, so think about how stores like Walmart and Target came into rural America and shut down so many stores, right? So many mom and pop stores, so many local stores, so many local, everything, banks. What else do they do in there? Electronic stores, nail salons, all of that. Think of that when you think of media. So these massive conglomerate media partnerships are going to shut down like small media. And then when you have someone who has such influence over said media, which is Paramount CBS, then you're not able to counter, right? There's no way to counter the misinformation, disinformation. And what a lot of critics are saying is that it's going to erode newsroom independence and reward conservative influence in the media. They had to promise to get rid of DEI programs within the organization and appoint a bias watchdog that is going to make sure that there is no more DEI happening at this organization in order for them to get the FCC approval that was needed. We in danger, y'all. We in danger, which is why I also put that link up. Please, 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 if you didn't hear, there is a link pinned to go ahead get on the Gym Nation newsletter mailing list. And then, well, you're subscribing, it's no cost. And then you're also going to download your free reference guide to both local and national Black media. I did the caveat, this was created by Digital Green Book. And some of the national Black media is not 100% Black owned. So please do your research and your due diligence. But also, we always talk about the ones that have been defunded. NPR, National Public Radio, Associated Press, which is AP News, PBS, still continue to check out those resources for accurate news. There's others you can download. I think there should be a link in the description. You can download a free copy of that as well. So yeah, so this this Paramount and CBS merger is not a good thing. And the same way some of us are boycotting certain retailers or whatever, we need to think about if you're paying a fee for, what is it, Paramount Plus or whatever. I don't know if you still want to do that. Maybe if you have to choose one, maybe it's Netflix versus, for now, but we don't know when things are going to change, right? And so yeah, these are the times that we're living in, the strange times. Let's see. I'm going to go back up this way. Still CBS and so many caving. Yep. Y'all good. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. And I'm canceling and I get it free because of one of my credit cards. How about that? And I'm sure when I say I get it free, there's some money being exchanged somewhere. My name is not going to be on their roll either. And matter of fact, I may have already done that. They haven't been relevant for a long time. Yeah. But a lot of people, so CBS also owns, let me look it up real quick. CBS owns, oh wow, so CBS is owned by Viacom, CBS, and if you look at the channels, oh well, yeah, there's the sports channels and CBS News Radio. Wow, that was an $8 billion merger, and they definitely threw us away, even though we have built up so many of the platforms. As I did another video not too long ago on how we overconsume media by far. And so it's I guess they have squeezed all they really need from us at a certain level. I'm looking up all the brands under Paramount. Sorry. Oh, wow. Oh, some of y'all parents are going to be upset. Nickelodeon, Country Music Television, Comedy Central, MTV, Showtime, TV Land, Pop TV. It's a lot. What? Oh, because BET, that's right. What is going to happen to BET? BET is owned by Viacom, which is under the Paramount. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to share this only because I want this to be documented, because I'm sure it's going to go away. So today is July 25th at 11:39 p.m. Let me just see if I can share this. Because we're going to read this together, because I promise you, I just don't know when, but I promise you it's going to go away. So this is paramount.com/about/brands. This is what I'm reading. Our powerful and unique portfolio of network, studio, and streaming brands entertain, inform, and empower audiences. Our brands are number one in key US target demos, including total audience, kids, okay, so including total audience, kids, adults, African Americans, and Hispanics. Let's see how long that phrase. What time is it? I'm going to bookmark this. I'm going to write this down. It is 35 minutes into this live. I'm going to see how long it takes for them to take that down. Because that verbiage is going away. It's DEI. And these are the brands. I'm going to just quickly scroll because we have a couple more topics to get through. So yeah, I just wanted to, I needed to show that for myself because I would forget. And I also, I'm surprised it's still there now. I'm surprised that they're still showing that now. Hi, Cheryl PhD. Good to see you. Yeah, that phasing is going bye-bye. BET. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to BET. Oh, child. Yeah, it's we in danger, girl. We in danger, guy. We in danger. So yeah, so I do want to get to the other topic. So yeah, so that Paramount Skydance, I want to keep saying ByteDance, but ByteDance is who owns TikTok. But the Skydance and Paramount merger has been approved by the FCC and it's going to proceed. And this administration will control the information that we receive. So let's go on to the next topic. And that would be, okay, I'm debating which one am I going to do first, but let's go ahead and talk about, well, the two that's remaining are Martin Luther King and Obama. But let's go ahead and start with Obama, because there was a comment made today that I did see. I guess it was on, I don't remember if it was on my television or on my phone, where they asked 47 about the treason. So for those of you that don't know, that Tulsi person, I don't like to say their whole names on this channel, but that Tulsi person who is, well, none of them are really the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they have accused President Obama and his entire team of treason, saying that they tried to undermine 47 when he was 45 with the investigation on Russia. So they're declassifying more documents, child. This is a declassifying, except certain documents, right? This is a declassifying administration if I ever seen one. But they're redacting certain key parts of all of these documents that they are declassifying. Y'all remember when all them papers was up in Mar-a-Lago? Things don't make 100% sense when you first hear about them, but the picture starts to get clearer as more things unfold. So they have submitted these documents to the DOJ, which is that's the Bondi. Lord Jesus, this is such a joke. And they're saying that they are going to hold everyone accountable, making it seem like they're going to make some arrests. This is what they were saying before today. Now, this is coming from a group of people who have been convicted. No declassifications, no, that they have been found guilty. And when I say a group of people, I'm talking specifically about the man in charge. And the fact that they are trying to, listen, do I believe government is corrupt? 100%. I believe the higher up you get in government, the more corrupt you may have to be at times. And however, the irony of this treason complaint now, again, there's a lot of other things happening that I believe there are some, and I don't even think the Epstein situation is the biggest distraction. I think for us, our biggest distraction are the deportations, or what they're trying to distract us from. The deportations, the massive roundups of not only undocumented, but US citizens as well. And I currently am in South Carolina, where the governor and that Macy chick are talking about bringing, I can't say the name, but the jail that they have in Florida with the stupid name, they are scouting places to bring one here to South Carolina as well. So the distractions, I believe, are more than just what's going on with Epstein. Because listen, if that man's name is on the list and he done been to the island 100 times, what are they going to do? He already has immunity. Like what? So again, we have to pay attention to the stuff that's not necessarily directly in our face. But even if there's a bomb that's dropped, and I mean, let me caveat that, YouTube, if there's some information that comes out that unequivocally puts that man on the island with some people he shouldn't have been with, so what? So what? What are they going to do? He has already started normalizing the what's her name? Maxwell? You know what I'm talking about. Epstein's right-hand chick. So yeah, I'm not optimistic that there will be any real consequences. So what are they, while they're showing this big shiny thing right here, right in our face, what are they doing over here? And what they're doing over here, I believe, is way more sinister than what they're putting in our face. And so this whole treason thing, it's another distraction. It's also a way to get the races like this. And let me just thank God, because I'm going to tell you, I am in South Carolina, in a place where there's a lot of conservatives, right? I have had no bad experiences. I've only had great experiences, and I've been here over a month now and met some of the coolest. Anyway, I just want to say that I am pleasantly surprised and happy to. I think some people are regretting what they did, the choices they made, because there's a lot of veterans here too. And a lot of veterans who are losing benefits or at risk of losing benefits, and also voted for other reasons than what's being thrown in their face right now. So let me just get back on what I was saying. So back to, I just had to throw that in there because I'm like, oh my gosh, I really thought that my experience here was going to be horrific. I was going to have to hear a whole bunch of things that I would have to, keep fighting against. And that has not been the case. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. But back to Barack. It's the distractions. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to distract us. And, this is what I was going to say. So today I saw on one of my screens that they asked him, listen, you're the one who got the Supreme Court to basically say sitting presidents have immunity. So all this talk about bringing Barack up, President Obama up on treason would not apply, because he would have immunity because he was a sitting president. And he's going to say, and y'all may be putting this in the comment section or the chat now, I don't know. But hit that like button. If y'all in here, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you are not on the email list, there's a pinned comment in the chat. The first link in the description when this video is over. Go ahead, click that, get on the email list, because we need to stay in community no matter what happens here, because this woke AI, which I forgot to say that the woke AI is not just going to be federally enforced. The companies that want certain government contracts and funding will also cave. And I don't know what companies those mean. That means I don't know what social media platforms are going to be like, okay. And then, they're going to scrub and erase everything. I say Black all the time on this channel. I say people of color. I say women. I say, I don't know what they're going to scrub, when they're going to scrub it. I don't want to lose community. So go ahead and register and get on the email list. So yeah, back to Obama. So they asked him, about, since you had the Supreme Court get rid of any opportunity to arrest the sitting president, that means that, President Obama would not be arrested, or, you couldn't bring him up on charges for treason. And he goes, yeah, you're right. But that doesn't apply to other people in his organization or in his administration. And he owes me big. Obama owes me big time. So this is all smoke and mirrors, y'all. Let's not fall for the okie doke, but it's a way to distract. It's a way to get our anxiety and our anger up. And let's not let that happen. And then next up, I'm saving Tracee for last, so because that's a feel-good story. Next up was the releasing of Martin Luther King Jr.'s files. And basically, most of the files that were released, well, it was over 230,000 pages. That's what it was. So I just wanted to clear that out. It included internal FBI memos, news clippings, and interviews related to James Earl Ray, the person that they convicted of the shooting, the pew-pewing. I got to remember what platform I'm on. Sorry. And they really talked about James Earl Ray's life. And there was not a lot of what they call, the smoking pew-pews, like things that really made you go, oh my goodness. But it makes you wonder again, like, what are they leading up to? Because I do believe there's a strategy to really start to get rid of any positive imagery or historical reference to civil rights and icons of that era. I believe that there's a plan to get rid of all of that. So I don't know what's going to happen or what more information is going to be released, but there's a whole bunch of stuff being thrown in our direction to distract us. And this is one of them. And some people say, again, it's because of the Epstein case. I think it's more sinister than that. And we just have to eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? I've said that here before. Like, if there's something that we need to ingest information-wise, then okay. But the other stuff, spit it out, please, 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 because it's definitely not only a distraction, but it can affect us internally. And so I did, and that kind of ties into, the whole DEI conversation as well. And when you think about wanting to remove a whole lot of the wording that they have listed, that includes a lot of the speeches, right? That includes the speeches of from people like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, all of the civil rights leaders. Like, it is so sinister what they're doing. It is so sinister. And it's censorship, right? It's definitely censorship. And we're heading in one direction. And I don't know I don't know who or what's going to be able to stop it. I'm not optimistic because I'm hearing a lot of people just regurgitate what's going on, but with no real solutions on how to stop what's going on. And so, anyway, but let me see what y'all are saying, and then we'll get into the last topic of the day. I'm just making sure. Yeah, okay. The privilege is going bye-bye. Yes. Thank you, Christine. Yes. So if you are in here, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and share. Definitely subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 50K before the end of this year. I am going to say it. Well, hopefully, based on all they're doing is trying to pull back, the topics that we discuss here, hopefully we'll make it, I feel it. We're going to make it to 50K before the end of the year. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, and join one of the other communities if you want to get in closer community. Hey, LJ. MLK came to Washington, D.C. to demand cash payment. Yeah, reparations for Black Americans, freedmen of the chattel slavery. Yeah. So yeah, that came out this week too. That was, but I had heard that before. Like he had a whole economic plan for us that was set, ready to go, and he was supposed to present it. But the way they delivered it this week was a little different. Like they gave a little bit more details on how he was going to package how he was going to deliver it. But yeah, we know it was about economics. It's just bizarro world. Nothing. You know what? Hate makes sense. It's all based in hate and jealousy, or what some people call fear. They're fearful of just how much we have overcome, child. But SCOTUS gave dual immunity to former and sitting presidents, so it applies to all included. So nothing burger, right? Another distraction. Exactly. Now, I'm not going to say he won't try to go after other people in the administration to make some type of stance, right? But it won't be 45 who's affected. No, 44, child. Let me stop. Ooh, child. 44. It won't be Obama who's affected because he does have immunity. But it should have been a nothing burger. It shouldn't even been anything that came up because everything they said that man did, I believe he did it. Thanks to the court, Obama has immunity, so it's nothing burger. Yep, a distraction. The MLK file news you hadn't tracked. Yeah, they have been talking about releasing it for months now, right? And including the JFK. So I believe the JFK, they're going to start talking about that soon. They're going to supposedly release that soon. It's a lot to keep up with. And some of it, we just need to let go, right? Like that is a file. We just, listen, that man is not here anymore. There is nothing you're going to say that's going to make me be like, damn him. So anywho, so the last topic that I did want to go over was, and unfortunately I don't have this platform, but Miss Tracee Ellis Ross has a new show, and it is called, I'm trying to get, oh, here we go. Oh man, do I not have the name of the show? Oh, wait, sorry. I had notes here. Oh yeah, here we go. So Tracee Ellis Ross is going to be the star of her original docuseries on Roku, which I don't have, but it's currently titled, and I believe it's the final title because she's been doing press about it. Solo Traveling with Tracee Ellis Ross. It actually premieres today, so this is the 25th. And it's going to follow her on luxurious international adventures and the 3 destinations, the 3 places that she has visited in this series is Mexico. Y'all know that's my home away from home. Spain, España, Mexico, España, y Morocco. So Morocco, in East Africa, and those are the 3 places. And it's going to highlight, as she says, it's going to highlight the joys and experiences of traveling alone. And she's going to interweave her love for fashion. We know that she can throw down when it comes to fashion, beauty, food, and culture. And I do have a pic. Yeah. So she's a sweetheart. She is someone who, for someone who has grown up around wealth since she was born, right? She is so normal. She is so normal, and she just likes being around real people. And so I'm excited for her to have this show and to showcase, which will hopefully influence and inspire other people, other Black women specifically, to stop waiting on people. Stop letting life pass you by, child. If you want to do it and you can't find people who want to do what you want to do, you better stop putting your dreams on hold. Like, life is too short. And so I really hope this inspires people. It also, the description also says that she'll share her routines from elaborate packing to relaxing on the plane and enjoying a new place on her own. She emphasizes that solo travel is not about being single, but about enjoying one's own company and experiencing the luxury of being oneself. Let me just tell you a quick story about why I love solo travel. Because for so many years, I did not. And I always traveled with other people and groups. And if I wanted to do something that they did not want to do, then for some reason, we would end up just not doing it. And vice versa. If they wanted to do something and I didn't want to do it, then they wouldn't do it. And it was like we were joined at the hip. Like, we could not just go and be like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'll meet up with you at this time, whatever. And I don't know why that was. And it wasn't until I started traveling for business, which took me all over. And I couldn't bring a friend most of the times. I was there for meetings or conferences or whatever, that I was like, you know something? I like being able to, if this was the other thing, like, I don't mind. Okay, let me level set this. I like to say I like to try different things like food, but I'm not eating like roaches and stuff like that, right? I'm not eating crickets. But I also was traveling with some people that would only eat the food that they were used to. So rather it was, I don't want to call things out, but if it was fried shrimp and grits or something like that, and they would not open their selves up to going to different types of restaurants to have different experiences. And so that's why I encourage people, because once you learn how to, and I'm also a talker too, so I never feel alone, right? I'm gonna meet some people, I'm gonna hang out with some people, and I keep my head on swivel. I'm from New York, I'm not gullible. So that combination, I thank God for putting me in a position with career where I had to travel alone, because I don't know if I would have, right? Without needing to. But since I have, I encourage other people to do it too. And it doesn't have to be a 2-week, 1 week, anything. It could just be a few days. If you want to go to Alaska, but you can't find nobody to take that trip, because that's a long trip, find a group, a solo group. There's so many solo travel groups, or go by yourself, but plan like between Facebook and WhatsApp and all these communities. There should be no reason that you are not doing the things that you want to do and seeing this beautiful world, life changing. And so, anyway, um, and finally, about Tracee's show, it says the series aims to inspire everyone to live life on their own terms, find happiness, and be their authentic selves. And I 100% co-sign that. Like, I wanted to talk about that story because, one, it comes on today, it launches today. So if you're looking for something to watch this weekend and you have Roku, this may be it. Like, I haven't seen it, so I can't say thumbs up or thumbs down, but I do think it is something to get our mind off of everything else that's going on here and maybe put us in a place where we're like, okay, maybe I will take this trip to here, or maybe I will go to this music festival here, or whatever. So again, I just wanted that topic to be one that we, left with and left on a high note. And let me just see what y'all are saying. For those of you that came a little late, someone blessed me today with this. And this is the 55th anniversary of Essence. And it's hard to find the magazines now. I think they only come out like quarterly. And I think they're going to come out less than that if what I heard was correct. But this is with the Honorable Susan Taylor. So I cannot wait to read what she is talking about, because I know that she will put me in a headspace that I need to be in. And so I'm super excited that God and the angels were looking out. The angels were looking out, and I got that issue. So let's see. I want to make sure. Thanks to the court, Obama has immunity, so it's nothing but, yeah, I think we got that. We got LJ. Oh, so is that it? You do not have to be on someone's time. Exactly. Creative flavors and travel. You do not have to be on anyone else's time except your own. Now, I do get it. Like, if you are a very introverted person, if you are someone who, how can I say this, who has a hard time coming out of your shell, it can be very intimidating. But that's why I also say there are so many groups that you can join. There are so many groups, not only like online, but there are literal like travel groups that if you're not online, you can find, right? And they put together group trips and whatever. And the best way to do it is just do it, right? The best way to do it. And then tell yourself that you're not going to be, and I hate to minimize it because I know like social anxiety can be real for some people. Hell, depending on the circumstances, periodically I may have it, depending on what type of room I have to go in. If I feel like, if I feel like schmoozing, if I don't, like, there's so many times that I'm just like, I just really don't feel like listening to what nobody else got to say right now. And so, I get it, but I do think that you will be so much better for giving it a chance with the right group. And that's definitely something that I believe in. And one of the reasons, so when I do like my scouting trips, I don't do big groups. More people, more problems. That's my saying. The smaller, more intimate the group is, when I say 15 or less, and that includes like me and whoever I'm rolling with, 15 or less, that is max. And even that gives me a little bit of because people are stuck in their ways, especially when you get to like my age, Gen X, right? People are not really conforming that much. Like, they're set in their ways, and people come with all types of different baggage and trauma. And so when you do a trip, try to keep it like, manageable. Try to find a trip that's manageable. And when I say manageable, if it's hundreds of people or multiple, I would say anything over 20 people and you've never done a solo trip before with this group, stay away. Because like I said, more people, more problems. The more people you have, you get to the restaurant, they can't sit everyone. Oh, we thought you were only going to have 15 people and you got 40 people. Like there's just too many, there's too much room for error. And so I highly encourage you to go ahead and find a group that you can experiences with, or do it yourself and find people once you get there. And most countries, oh my gosh, the people are so just like, go by yourself, take a cooking class, take a language class, take a dancing class, take in Italy, oh my gosh, one of my favorite things I love to do is food, cooking classes. And I don't have a lot of friends that love Italy or have ever been to Italy or want to go. Like I have friends that love parts of Africa or love the Caribbean, but like I don't want to go to Italy. And I love Italy. And so I'm going to continue to go to Italy with or without other people. And so I want to encourage y'all to do that by listen, Tracee got money though, child. Tracee may have us feel, well, may have me feeling away if there's a butler that walks in the room. Oh, another thing, I had a butler in Dubai, and at the JW Marriott, we had two butlers, and the room was like $100 and something a night. Beautiful hotel. Look up the JW Marriott in Dubai. Chef's kiss, or as the young people do. Yes. If you go to Dubai, I would highly recommend that hotel. I'm assuming the prices are still the same. I went Panorama, and had an amazing time and met amazing people. So again, I want you to watch the show and hopefully listen. That girl, when I tell you, so the picture that I just posted with me, it's on my community tab. So weird how things fall into place or things align. The picture that I just posted of me and Malcolm Jamal Warner was at Tracee Ellis Ross cover party for Essence. Him and Tracee were super, super cool. I had hung out with Tracee for a few, she was honored many times with Essence. And so I had to be involved in some of those things. But I had met her before that. If you did not know that she was wealthy, and her father, cool as I don't know what. Like she comes, you could tell why she is the way she is, because I'm not going to say her mother's not that way, but meet her dad. Coolest white man in the world. Like he is amazing. And she's just very, very good people. And so, so I do want you to support her. And I do want you to be inspired and encouraged. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. He done took it back to the 70s. Yes, Dante. Oh, I forget too, but I know it's in a song too that my parents used to play. I'm going to look it up when we get off of this before they scrub it off the internet. Let me see if I can look it. But to do it. Oh, is this it? It's a song. Is that it? Let me see what year. Let me go by the year. No, that's not. That's not him. I'm going to find it. There was a song. I don't know if that was the name or the hook. I'm just going to say 1970s and see what comes up. And I know it was in the 70s because I could hear it playing in the background as we were cleaning up. I'm going to have to find it. But anyway, y'all, it's been over an hour. Again, I was like, as much as I come on here to try to go over research, encourage people to stay ready. We also need to talk about the real news topics that are, happening. And so I don't know how often I'm going to do it, but I definitely want to do it more. And it's not just the hot topics about this executive order or this happening with Project 2025. There's so many bad stories out there that I'm hesitant to keep talking about or bring up, because all you got to do is read Project 2025. And so, and again, if you don't read the whole document, there are summaries. There are people who have broken it down. There's this sister that I had posted on one of the videos, and I had tagged her video because her video breaks it down so perfect on what to expect. Again, I just don't want to keep saying the same things over and over. So I want to, still keep us prepared by touching on some real life topics too. So I think Tracee Ellis Ross encouraging women and Black women to travel solo, or to at least, know that you can. I think that's spot on, because I am also trying to encourage us not only to travel solo, but to get residency other places, right? So I think this is perfect timing. And so again, if you have not subscribed to this channel, if you have not liked this video, go ahead and do it. If you have not shared it with a friend after this is over, please do. And also subscribe to the newsletter. I need y'all to subscribe to that newsletter, because I'm concerned, especially with this woke AI executive order and what that's going to mean for some of these platforms. So yeah, let's stay connected. Let's stay in community, and stay away from these apps that need you to take your picture and send your ID. If it's not a banking institution and you have to do something that way, or if it's not for like a travel visa or something like that, leave those apps alone, please. Please, please, please. And with that being said, I think we'll say good night. I'm trying to do this interview. I'm waiting on 2 interviews. I will keep y'all posted. So stay connected to the community tab. And until then, until that time, until I decide when we're coming back live, y'all, I'm also teaching a course too. I'm actually teaching 2 courses. So things are a little wonky, but as soon as I can put a schedule up, I promise I will. But until then, remember, you may want to cancel, this situation right here. Anyway, I'll talk to everyone. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Bye.